What's up? It's Debbie. I am back with a Sheila Keen Warren update. I forgot to tell you guys the trial was supposed to start on October 21st. The week before the trial was supposed to start, there was a Brady violation motion filed by the defense. And from what I understand, again, I'm not a lawyer, I'm a nurse, but from what I understand, a Brady violation is when the prosecution has information that could exonerate the defendant's client. And in this case, there is a 25-page file of clown sightings. There are 40 names on it with addresses and phone numbers, and they all have to be investigated. Now, the defense, I don't know how the defense found out that this file existed, but he did, and he filed a Brady violation motion wanting the evidence turned over. And at that motion, the prosecution says they have looked and all due diligence has been done to find this file. They cannot locate it anywhere. Well, the next day, they found the file, and it was in a box at the sheriff's office. And the defense attorney is now having another hearing before the judge to say that he was lied to. He was told that it was in the state prosecutor's office the entire time. And I just wanted to share that with you and let you guys have a little sneak peek behind the scenes at what is going on leading into this trial. And they're going to meet back again on December 22nd to see if they're ready to go to trial, because this judge has set aside 3 to 4 week periods twice now for this trial, and it keeps getting continued, and he wants to know for sure before he sets another 3 to 4 week block off for this trial that it's going to actually happen. So take a look, let me know in the comments what you think, and I will see you on the next one.
All right, so we're here once again on State of Florida versus Sheila Keen Warren, case number 2017 CF 8722. Good morning, Ms. Keen Warren. And counsel, state your appearances, please. Good morning.
Good morning, Your Honor. Larry Wilson, Amy Morris, and Jesse Ashman on behalf of Sheila Keen Warren.
Good morning to all of you. So we're here on, there's a motion to compel, motion for sanctions that was included with the motion to compel that I granted last week. Additionally, I would also indicate I would rehear arguments regarding the motions already denied regarding motions to compel. Before we get started with that, I want to ask you, Mr. Rosenfeld, in your motion, the unopposed motion to continue, you indicated that Mr. Scott had found the clown sightings file folder in his office, and Mr. Scott told you that. Can you elaborate on that? Was that indeed the case, sir?
Yes, Judge. So, yeah. So after the continuance in May, Ms. Morse and I deposed investigator Tim Valentine, who was not listed by the state. This was the lead investigator in 1991. He was required to be listed. And I'm just giving you some background as to how we get to the box. He was present for 17 interviews. He conducted 3 other interviews. He was present for the interviews of the 4 eyewitnesses. He tried on the clown.
I just want to answer.
Sure, but
so because last week you wrote in, it must have been a conversation that happened last week.
Correct.
Scott's telling you.
But there's a basis.
I'm talking.
Sorry.
Scott's telling you that he found the file in his office. Did that happen or not?
Yes.
Okay. I'll ask Mr. Scott about that in a little bit. Because according to what he wrote, the police had it.
But without background, without giving you the background for it,
It's really not. It shouldn't be complex.
Yes, he called me while I was driving to a doctor's appointment.
What did he tell you?
And Mr. Scott said, Mr. Rosenfeld, or Greg, I'm really embarrassed. I'm going to cut right to the chase, Greg. I'm not going to beat around the bush here. We went back and
Are
for the
all
file
defense
where we
attorneys this
found
dramatic?
Tim Valentine's case file, which is why I was giving the background on that and where that box was. And we came across the clown setting file.
Why can't he just
I
answer
don't
a
know
straight
how
question?
I missed it, how Mr. Hoover missed it, how Detective McCann missed it, but we did. And
So if I understand you correctly, Mr. Scott told you he found the clown sightings file in his office, correct?
well, he found
That's
it
what you wrote in the motion.
Yes, he found it in a box that he previously told me and Miss Morse was in his office. And he told me that day he found it in the same box. And then I said, I said, Reed, you got to tell me, is this what's in this clown file? And he's like, it's what you'd expect. I'm so sorry. I made a mistake, which he said over and over again. And then I drove to my appointment. We had a deposition. Of one of the state has a deposition of one of its experts. And next day, he produces this clown setting file.
I understand that, but again, you wrote in the paragraph 8 of your motion, October 12th, one day after the hearing, 8 days before the trial, 40 months, blah, blah, blah. The state informed the defense that it found new evidence, the clown signing file. Despite alleging that it did its due diligence in searching for the file, the state admitted that the clown signing file was located in a box in its office, which means not an office at the office, but in his office. He told you that, according to what you're telling me, right?
Yes, he
Okay.
found it.
All right, I'll find out from Mr. Reed. Mr. Scott, come on up. Can you enlighten the court, please?
I never said that, Judge. I informed Mr. Rosenfeld that Detective McCann located the file. Detective McCann is here present to tell you where she located the file and when she located the file. What I said to Mr. Rosenfeld was we had previously looked for this file specifically, but also when we went looking for Tim Valentine's, we looked through everything. But I explained Detective McCann found the file at the sheriff's office. That's what was said. And Detective McCann is here to tell the court if she needs to testify.
Before you get started, bring Detective McCann up here, please.
This judge ain't having it. I thought this hearing was going to be boring. I really did, and I started watching it, and I was like, whoa.
Yes.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Tell me your name and spell it, please.
Paige McCann, PAIGE MCCANN.
Just want to ask you something. I want to narrow this down as much as possible. Did you find the quote-unquote clown sightings file?
Yes, Your Honor.
Where did you find it?
In a file within my office.
And what file was that?
I have three big banker box files for this case. One has all witnesses, the second one is documents, and the third one pretty much relates to miscellaneous things such as Michael Warren's, where he had been arrested for the odometer tampering. And that is the file I found in the box.
And what day did you find that?
I think it was Tuesday or Wednesday of last week.
So would it be fair to say that the file was not found in Mr. Scott's office, but it was in your office?
Correct.
Thank you. Have a seat. Okay.
All right. So the state's position in this motion. Just looking at my notes.
I don't understand. Why would he tell you that he found it in his office? Why would he do that?
This judge ain't
Why
having
would he
it. Oh my
misrepresent
God.
for 10 months?
What benefit is that? What if she found it? What did he have to gain by making some misrepresentation to you, Mr. Wilson?
There's been multiple misrepresentations we don't understand.
Tell me why would he lie about that?
Because he did it in the past in other cases. The same thing.
What benefit does he have to lie about that? What's the benefit?
That's what the defense bar is wondering. Since this happened, since last week, I've had defense attorneys in the community reach out to me in cases, and you can speak to your colleagues about this.
Mr. Rosenfeld, as it relates to this particular issue, what benefit does the state gain by misleading you as to where the file was found? What was she going to have? You always have to assume that this detective was in part of some conspiracy with Mr. and come up here and lie about the fact that she found it in her own office.
Oh,
What
that's
sense does that
exactly what we
make?
think. We think one of two things happened. We think either, I mean, not we think. Clearly, one of two things have happened. Either they're lying, which, again, swear me in. I'd be happy to ask what Ms. Morris as to what we know, or PBSO's evidence unit is such a mess that they're finding evidence in other boxes in its evidence unit the week before trial, and who else knows what other evidence is in these other boxes in other cases. Those are the only.
It's a big allegation you make against Mr. Scott, that he's coming in here and lying about where the file was found. I still don't understand what he would gain from that.
He's alleging that I'm lying in his plea.
I just don't understand why. What would he have? What purpose would he have to? Let's assume he was some nefarious prosecutor, right?
This
Which,
guy
by the way, I had
never
cases with Mr.
answers
Scott
his
when I
question.
used to be defense attorney, and his reputation was impeccable from where I sat. I had cases against him. I found him to be forthright, sir. You can tell me about other people that have said certain things. I have found nothing but Mr. Scott to be forthright, honest, and ethical in his dealings with me when I was a defense attorney. So you may come here and tell me that you have some other lawyers are going to say some bad stuff about Mr. Scott. I'm just telling you from my own personal experience what I found. Now you're telling me that he is lying about to the court, which is a big move. Lying about this statement to you. I wasn't there for the conversation. It certainly wasn't tape recorded. But I still don't understand what benefit he would have to lie to you about where the file was found. Tell me what the benefit would be to him, even if he was a nefarious guy.
What benefit would I have from lying?
What benefit would he? Tell me what benefit. Answer my question. What's the benefit to him?
Yeah,
How
answer
is
the
he
question.
He got called out for sanction, and he's covering his tracks at
So he
this
would bring
point.
McCann on his little conspiracy then? That's what you're saying, Mr. Roosevelt?
So are you suggesting that me and Ms. Morse are part of the conspiracy?
Maybe you all misunderstood the comments. Maybe it really wasn't delved into enough during the course of the content of the meeting. But I just don't understand what benefit yet. I really, we need to move on here, sir. But it's a heck of an allegation to state that he's lying about it. I don't understand what the benefit was. You still haven't told me that. What does he have to gain?
I